do, Blues? Welcome to a new podcast called SlamDunk with Admin Steve. We're going to try and do cases. And on my first one, I do have Admin Dan with me. Hello, Dan. How you doing?
Not bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you. I don't know how I got this gig, mate, but we'll stick with it anyway. So a few things we're going to go through. We're going to try and do three transfers that is in the news at the moment. Three transfers that City have missed out on, and what me and you think, why we didn't get them, etc. And then we'll do right at the end. We'll do one player each who we wish that City could sign for any position. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we start off with so one of the ones we're gonna go for now. So I think we're gonna start off with the one that is a swap deal that apparently could be going on between us and Barcelona for fullbacks. In us getting Nelson Semedo in a swap for João Cancelo. What's your thoughts?
Make it happen. On the regular podcast, you know how much I honestly can't stand Cancelo. I don't think he's a City type right back. He just, I don't know if it's sort of the Mahrez deal where he needs another season. He needs a season to implement himself, and then next season he'll kickstart and get running. But I just don't see it from him. I don't see the hunger. I don't see the desire. But at the same time, if we do a swap deal with this Nelson Semedo, who does look a good player, it could be the same thing with him, you know. But it's hard to see. I mean, hands down, I'm not the biggest Cancelo fan. Anyone will say I say that all the time. Some people have different views, but there's no harm in doing it if it's a swap. There's no money involved, so depending on how the wages go, I'd say do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree with everything you say. Watching Semedo play, I think he's got that the running up and down, which Pep likes. I think I thought Cancelo had that in his locker, but it doesn't look like he does. I think he goes forward very well. Don't get me wrong, but tracking back, not so much. No. I think when you compare him to Walker, I don't think he's anywhere near Walker quality, if I'm honest. But I honestly think that Semedo could give Walker a run for his money, which I also think he needs. I think he needs to be kept on his toes. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with him after what's been in the news. So you probably will need to have someone sort of his toes. I think I would like to see the deal done. Like you say, no money involved, hopefully. I think, what did we pay for Cancelo? Is it 50 million?
It was a deal with, we paid more 60 million for him, wasn't it, as a total figure, but the cost of Danilo took it off, so I think it was like 37.5 million or something like that. But to go back on what you said, somebody to contest with Walker is exactly what we need. I think we also need that with a left back position, because I think that's the reason we've been struggling with our left back position, because we've got no other real choice left back, bar Angelino, but he isn't the caliber we need yet to challenge Mendy. But I think bringing Semedo in, being not saying Cancelo hasn't come from a big club, i.e. Juventus and Valencia. Semedo has been at Barcelona for a long time now. I think it's about 5 or 6 seasons now. And I think he'll be the caliber that will come in and make Walker think, actually, you know what? Yes, it's a swap deal, and he's never played in England, but he's been playing for arguably one of the greatest clubs there's ever been. This guy's younger than me by 5 years. He's going to give me a run for his money. And Semedo, from what I've seen, has got bags of pace, and he can do it on and off the pitch, day in, day out. He looks like an absolute unit. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think just challenging Walker is exactly what he needs.
Yeah, I think so. I can't really see anyone else really that could challenge Walker, and then you're paying a hell of a lot of money. Because I still think Walker has got a good 2-3 years in him, there or thereabouts. And he can and still be one of the best right backs in English football, I would say. Obviously everyone raves about Trent at Liverpool, but I think Walker's done it for a long time and being very consistent. It's just to see if Trent can be as consistent as what Walker has been. Okay, so that's one which I think we both agree on. So good start.
I don't know if there's many more of them to come, but
I don't think there is, mate. If I'm honest, it's not. There could be a few that we might not, but then that's all good as being part and parcel in it.
Yeah.
So I think the next one I'm going to move on to, which I think is not exactly a fresh one, but it's been sort of in the back for a little bit, is Sol Niguez from is it holding midfield?
From what I've heard of him, he's just a basic centre midfielder. He's sort of your old-fashioned midfielder. He's got the attacking in his locker. He's got defensive in his locker. I think he's more prone to attacking. And I believe he can also play out on the wing, left wing. I'm sure I've seen him play there a couple of times, Madrid.
Okay.
But he's a very versatile player. He's not a unit, but he's certainly very good on the ball. He's just a bit more of a beefed up David Silva, in my opinion, but not as good, clearly. But
no. Still only 25, I think. So
that's nothing, is it, really, nowadays?
No, you probably still another 8 years at least.
Yeah,
I would say of good football. I mean, what I've seen of him, I think everyone probably watched the Atletico Liverpool games. I definitely did fantastic. But he looked very, very good in those games. Very controlled. I don't think you can get anyone to learn off better than Simeone for defensive work and work rate. He looks very drilled, and I don't think that Pep would have to work on that game as much for him.
No. Which will probably work better for Pep, actually.
Simeone exactly. I mean, to be fair, he just looked an all-round good player. Nothing spectacular, but solid, which is what we need again. Probably because I can't see Fernandes playing that many games, if I'm honest.
I think centre-back's his role from now on. I think Rodri's got Dino's position fixed now, especially having just been thrown at the deep end this year. And with David Silva coming into the fray, David Silva leaving the fray and Foden coming into that fray, I think we need a bit more of a not necessarily world class, but established midfielder because we know Foden's going to play plenty of games next season. Hope so completely. But I think just to help him along the way, so the weight of David Silva, that is some hellish shoes to fill. I think having a ready-made sort of defensive midfielder who can do the attacking side of things alongside Foden to help him out, playing the likes of De Bruyne as well. You can't do anything. I think he just needs sort of that ready-made midfielder to help him grow. And who knows, with him being 25 years age, if De Bruyne either stays at City and then starts to drop maybe or moves on to pastures new, a young central midfielder tied with Foden, who's still only 19, 20, might have the next few years ready-made.
Yeah, I think we are strong in midfield, which is good. But maybe this Sol, obviously being Spanish, will obviously know David Silva and know how well everyone knows how good that little magician is. But if he's probably played with him in the Spain squad. It's only a couple of years since David's retired anyway, and Spain to go young with their players anyway, so he would have been in there. Obviously playing by Sergio Biscuits as well, as I like to call him. would have helped him miles anyway. So I think too good to go on. That's two agreements, Dan. This is
I know. I think I'm getting a bit heated on the head here. I think I need to go have a lie down. I'm not used to this.
I was going to say the hair's already done, mate. Can't even.
You couldn't have thrown that in. Yeah, before all the blues asked, yes, I decided to shave my head. It's a bit more slap head, but you're better than the wife's potential haircut, believe me.
Okay, so the final one is the ones that's around at the moment, and what I've seen, and is another actual central midfielder, which I don't know why we're linked with so many, but we're probably linked with everyone. I think is Aurora from Lyon.
Right,
speaking about was a similar role to what Sol is. Younger, I think, 21, something like that.
Yeah, about 21, 22, yeah.
French as well. I mean, they're just bringing up so many hot players at the moment. It's becoming a bit of a joke how good their international team's going to be. Just looking at got his stats here actually. So for the whole season in Liga, it's 85.7 pass percentage for the whole season. Not too bad. Looks like 7 assists. Looks like he likes a good tackle. So I mean, 7 assists in only 23 starts with an 85.7% pass percentage looks pretty decent in my eyes. And just reading, it's just saying obviously with David Silva departing, it might well be another replacement. Looking at everything, I may think that this one may be more possible than Sol, seeing his release clause that Atletico want of, I think it's £130 million, so it wasn't even in euros. So it looks like that we can obviously get this guy for they're saying they're not actually saying the price for him, so they're probably saying he's going to be around what Ndombele went to Tottenham, which was about 50 million. Which for a 21-year-old French midfielder.
That's all I really know of AOR, however you pronounce his name, that season of the Lyon greatness in recent times with him and Ndombele in midfield, especially in the Champions League a couple of years ago, that they were an established midfield duo that really worked well together. And you can probably argue that it may highlight how good Aora is, the fact that since Ndombele's come to Spurs, Lyon have suffered, and Ndombele's performances aren't as good as they were. So you could put that to the fact that two are on cohesion with each other. But you could argue that maybe one's better than the other, and the one who is better didn't go to Spurs.
Might be coming to us. Yeah. So looks like midfielder, centre, and left side. He can play.
Very versatile.
By the looks of it. I mean, looking at his stats as well. I mean, 5 appearances, 445 minutes, 1 goal, 3 assists in the Champions League. 83.2 man of the matches in 5 games. I mean, I think you could be looking at, something quite special there. I don't think he's been capped for France yet, but under 21s he's played a lot. Oh, not played a lot actually. Only two games for them, but 90.8% passer completion as well.
The Pep style player. It's got maybe going back to what I was saying about Sol. The age of 21, 22, help Foden push on a bit, even younger. You could be looking, if De Bruyne moves on, another ready-made. Rodri's what, 23?
Yeah.
We could be looking at a complete midfield at the end of next season if Aurora comes, a proper young under 25 team.
Yeah, I mean, or even if Sane left, it pushed De Bruyne up to that wing. I mean, I remember the game against Arsenal this season. De Bruyne was phenomenal on the right side, absolutely phenomenal. And I quite think he enjoys it. So anyone that can help push De Bruyne forward, sign for City. You know, but yeah, okay. Do hate to say it, Dan, but that's 3 out of 3, mate, and that's 3 out of 3 agreements. Just saying.
What's the volume content in this? Seriously,
just
it's something not knocking right.
Yeah, they put calls light up. Right. So, okay. So yeah, 3 players, 3 agreements. I think all could boost City.
Yeah.
Really well. Like I said, I think the Aurora for Leon is maybe the more likely from what I'm just reading now as well than Sol. And yeah, I mean, hopefully we can strengthen where's needed. Yeah. Okay, so Blues, we're going to go on to 3 players that City missed out on or didn't go for certain reasons. The big one, I think we're going to start with, is Virgil van Dijk. Obviously, Liverpool bidding a lot. Say a lot more, but City, I only think, wanted to go 60, 65. Yeah, and that was about it. Or Pep did. So yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on that then, Dan? With Virgil.
There's no doubting. I think every City fan would be in the same boat. We all absolutely wet ourselves when Liverpool paid that amount. But at the same time, I think we can all admit that we all got a spanking with how well he's played for Liverpool. He is, for me, I hate to say it, just because it's Liverpool, but on a player's point of view, he is arguably the best centre back in the world right now. I know the only thing that puts me down is when the media highlights how good he is. You get all these Scouser fans saying, "Oh, he hasn't been dribbled past by so many games by so many players," and you're like, "Well, he has been dribbled past by them." Blows out of the water. Just keep it all level-headed. He is a very good centre back, and if we had him, we wouldn't. We'd be rocketing forward right now. And he would have been the perfect player. In fact, probably the only player that I can think of right now that is a ready-made replacement for Vinny. And I think Pep at the beginning, because I think Pep and City were sort of holding out for the summer transfer window when it all happened, just to get a cheaper, sort of like the Mahrez style thing. And I think Liverpool sort of recognised that and thought, you know what, we're going to have him, we're going to take him, we're going to risk it. And like I said, we laughed at it, but he's alongside the likes of Salah, he's transformed that Liverpool side. And yeah, I'm gutted we'd never got him, but at the same time, I'm glad that City weren't being mugged off, they stuck to their own guns. You know, City, our transfer strategy is very strict. We stick by it no matter how good the player is, and we're very loyal to it. And that's the one thing regarding our transfers that I love about City. We don't get backstabbed. We don't fall to our knees. You know, we don't do favours to other clubs. We just do our business. And as much as it hurts not having Van Dijk, I'm still happy that City stuck to the guns and stuck to the loyalties.
Yeah, no, I couldn't really say much more. I think, yeah, I mean, you look at Mahrez, we could have paid God knows what for him in the January. I know it was a bit. I think he really wanted to come, but then that halved by 30 million for the summer. City waited out. He wanted to come. We knew it. And for me, he's come on to be a good player for City. When he doesn't start, sometimes I think we could have him out there. Do you need him out there? So, yeah, I think that's with Van Dijk as well. I am looking at his stats and they're ridiculous. I don't even want to say them. But then we got Laporte, so for less money. So
I can see him becoming one of the world best. Laporte, I think he just needs another season. I think next season he will really. This injury aside, I think he would have done it this season. But obviously with the injury that happened, I think next season when he's back fit, his fatigue's better. his energy and his fitness levels are better, I think Laporte will give Van Dijk a run for his money this year.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree with you there. Okay. So let's move on to a weird one, which I think I said about before in podcasts after the audio book I downloaded for Pep. It was regarding goalkeepers. So ter Stegen for Barca. Now, obviously, the story that got told for me was he was literally ready to sign the dotted line, just waiting for his girlfriend at the time to be accepted at Manchester University. Obviously, that didn't happen. They didn't really specify the reasons. But in a sense, I think if we didn't get Edison, I would have said, what a miss that we've had on that. But luckily enough, we got Edison. What would you think? What do you think about ter Stegen? What do you think if we got him? You know,
You don't need to go any further than say he's a German goalkeeper. The quality of German goalkeepers out there is ridiculous. You've got Manuel Neuer over the past 10 years, who's been arguably one of the greatest. ter Stegen, well up there. You know, they've got the likes of Timo Horn. He's another goalkeeper for Germany, and he's another good lad. But ter Stegen, there is part of me that wishes we did get him, because Jan Oblak right now for me is the best goalkeeper on the planet at current time. But ter Stegen, just goalkeeping ability, is not that far behind. I think the only reason Jan Oblak is as good as he is because Atletico Madrid have gone from this all-out class team to focus on a position, defensively minded team. I think with that in front of him is the reason he's been so good. ter Stegen, he's got a very attacking team that is left somewhat open at the back, you could argue, because Barca haven't been as good as they have been over the past 3 or 4 years with him at the back. But I think that's more to the aggressive style of the managers for Barca now. And I think ter Stegen would have fitted into City absolutely perfectly. But at the same time, like you said, if we got ter Stegen, we wouldn't have had Edison. And that boy, right now, he's got to be, probably from the early years of when Joe Hart started, the most loved goalkeeper of the past 20 years, pushing on with like the likes of Nicky Weaver and Shay Given. You know my stories about Shay Given. But,
absolutely.
But it's a 50-50. You know, you're here and there on this one, because if we had got either goalkeeper, none of us would have been happy, but at the same time, we would have been gutted about not getting the other. If we didn't get Edison, seeing his footwork, we would have been down in the dumps. Like, we could have had this goalkeeper who is a good goalkeeper, but is like having 12 men on the pitch, in a sense. We've got a goalkeeper and outfield player in one, but at the same time, ter Stegen is so much better at shot stopping. But it remains to be seen. Edison's a couple of years younger, and you know, I don't have any regrets at that point. But
no, just looking now, Stegen, 27 years old, has got 2 assists this season though.
Has he? So he's got one more than Edison.
Not happy about that. I'm pretty much the same. I think we all know that Edison's my love child. I adore the bloke. He was going on about our City teams from the different eras, and I still have him in. The bloke, like I said, the bloke's won everything apart from the Champions League. He's been in a treble winning season, won multiple Premier League titles. Just that Champions League missing, and then I don't really see anyone saying that he isn't the perfect all-round goalkeeper that's won everything.
No.
I think he wants that because that little man Bravo behind him has won everything.
That's the thing that I think a lot of people, especially City fans, that I've said that to plenty of Blues, and they're all like, "Are you being serious? Bravo's won everything." I was, yes, Bravo has actually won everything that he could.
You want to have a look at that bloke's CV? It's ridiculous.
It's an astonishing and absolutely, like you say, ridiculous CV. I think Ederson is sort of like, seeing the way Bravo's played since coming to the city is not the best, but, I'm number one. Why haven't I up there? But at the same time, the other admin, Dan Halifax, I think he's hit the nail on the head. If the Champions League carried on this season, I personally agree with him. Ederson would be finishing this season with Champions League medal round his neck.
Let's hope it happens.
It could still happen, yeah.
It could still happen. Let's hope it does. For all sake, if the Premier League's got to finish or whatever, let the Scousers have their Premier League title. But if we get the Champions League, they literally have nothing to say to us, apart from they maybe one more. But then we can say that about the Premier League. So all in all, if we win that, we lose the title for one season. I said it the other day. We'll win it back next season. There's no way going to be this points haul ever again.
No,
it's not going to happen. Pep won't let it happen.
No.
Let's put that out there now. Okay. We can keep talking about that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the last one, which is actually quite fresh. We don't know if it's fully over, but I'd probably say it's about 90% over. And it's Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan. Touted as the next Aguero. I don't agree. I don't think there's anyone on the radar that is anywhere near that boy at the moment. You can all say it in other leagues, but he's come here and proved it. If he wasn't injured, he'd have overtaken Shearer's record. It's as simple as that. So from what I've heard is that he's going to choose Barcelona, not because of them being Barcelona, but the pure fact that it's very similar to Italian football, where you can go down for holding your toenail and get a free kick.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be bullied by big centre halves like Tarkowski at Burnley and Maguire and all that. So that's why he's come out and said that's why I don't want to come to City. Which to me is pathetic. I don't want that sort of club around City. We've still got our main man for a couple of seasons, but I just wanted to know sort of your thought on what you've heard.
Yeah, well, I've heard the exact same story that he doesn't like to be, in a sense, bullied going forward, i.e. the defenders coming in. And as much as everybody says the Premier League's changed from what it was 20 years, it has, but the aggressiveness is still there. The officials do give free kicks away like it's going out of fashion nowadays. But I think that's just under peer pressure and fan pressure nowadays. Fans in stadiums are definitely now 12th man. They definitely make a difference in the referee's mind, for my opinion. But to come out and say you don't want to move to arguably still the greatest league on earth just because you're scared of getting bullied by defenders proves that you are not ready to become the greatest striker. Because if you're scared of a back line or just scared of a player taking you out, you haven't got the bottle to have what it takes to be the top player. Aguero, like you said, has come in and done that. We had it with Dzeko. Dzeko was a big lump of wood, but he wasn't about the people were saying, yes, he's a big lump of wood who win headers and stuff like that, but he wasn't technical with the ball. He wasn't good at holding up the ball, but he could still bully defences, and defences would give it back, but he'd definitely give it back to them. And I think a lot of people were saying the same about Jesus when he first arrived, a small, thin lad. He has everything in his locker. You know my views on it. Well, I won't get into that. Jesus will be our main striker for me. He will definitely be our main striker for me. And the difference between him and Lautaro Martinez is the fact that he's not come out with these stupid statements saying, I'm scared of being hacked down by defences. He'll take it in his stride and say, well, if that's how I feel a defender's going to be in a British game, then I'm going to have to better myself to make sure it doesn't happen and score goals against them. They're going to lunge in for tackles. I want to skip out the way, get past them, score a goal. Exactly. If he's coming out saying, I don't want to get taken out, you're not good enough to get past the defender, then are you?
No, absolutely, mate. Hit the nail on the head there. Totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know opinions arise about Jesus, so I think slightly sort of getting there with him. The only thing that frustrates me with Jesus is just the finishing. I know hopefully that can come, but problem is, even though you don't want to, you have to compare him to Aguero because that's the pinnacle. And you look at it and think, oh God, if that was Aguero, that's in, you know. But don't get me wrong. But then Jesus worked great. Like I said, I'll go back to Madrid game. Awesome, absolutely awesome. That changed my mind on him. So Martinez, bugger off, mate. Don't need you. We've got one ourselves, or we'll go out and find someone, that can do that job. Okay, just so the final part of this, don't want it to go on for too long. Is someone who you think would benefit City as a signing? So someone that personal to you that you would like at City, and just a quick minute why you would like him.
Yeah, it's ideally for a position that I think we're going to lack with Dino, especially moving into centre back, and that's the defensive midfield role. And I have become a very big fan over the past couple of years of Nottingham Forest defensive midfielder Ryan Yates. He is English, so that ticks the homegrown box right there and then. He's 22, 23 years old now. He's not really, I want to say, established himself because he's played a hatful of games now for Nottingham Forest, and they are on a push for promotion this season. And I think it's just the way Nottingham Forest play is very similar to City in the fact that it's very passing but very attacking when it needs to be. And Yates for me he's a big lad, but he backs that up with his footballing skill. He likes to hold on to the ball. He can see visionary passes very well. And I think as an understudy, because the fact that we've got Rodri is going to be our number one now for the next, unless we move, for the next 7, 8, maybe up to 10 years. You can be easily Dino's age and still be number one. And I think if we're going to get anyone in to fill that second role behind him, it won't necessarily be a first choice player. But I think Yates will be that sort of player that will like being involved in the team, even if it's not all the time, and he can back it up with his game and give Rodri a run for his money. So yeah, Ryan Yates of Notts Forest, I really think he could make it at City.
Okay, it's a new one on me, but I do watch a lot of the Championship. I've been mixed between the two that I was going to go for. I just the first one was, I think I might mention it, but Calvin Phillips from Leeds.
Yeah.
So obviously similar role to your guy from Forest, but I like Phillips. I really do. He's got everything. Work rate, great range of passing. Plays similar way to City because he's under Bielsa. So yeah, that was sort of the one that I was thinking. But the other one, out of nowhere, centre half for Inter Milan, Stefan, I think is the Fridge. I call him the Fridge.
Devlin. Yeah.
Nickname the Fridge. I'll call him that. He looks epic. Just got a good nickname, right?
Easier to spell, easier to pronounce than his actual name.
Mate, I'll put that on the back of my shirt if he signs. He looks really good. I know he's beside Skriniar, who City are also linked with. But I think he sort of, doesn't get that much plaudit. I think he's first name on the team sheet for behind with De Ligt. So he's a bit of 27, so got experience, big international experience, Champions League experience. I kind of think that's someone that could benefit us maybe beside Laporte. Also, I know, obviously, I don't really want to talk about centre halves because obviously Dave would be like, oh, Garcia. I want Garcia in there.
100%. I do. And I hope that becomes the case. But I still think that we need another one in there, just depending on how John Stones is going to be.
I have to agree with you on that front. I have to agree with you on that front with the fact that we've got Laporte. Obviously, Laporte's going to be our number one. He's going to be the first defender on the team sheet as much as possible. With Garcia, definitely one for the future. And I think it's the same idea when we're talking about the central midfielders. We've got to ease Foden in. I think we've got to do the same with Garcia. And I think even though he's 27, a ready-made defender like that, if the reports are to be believed that Otamendi's on his way out this summer, we don't need a young defender. We just need a ready-made defender to back up Laporte, to get those tough games won at the back. And then if we're winning 4 or 5, in some cases 6 or 7 with City, we can maybe bring Garcia on as a second half substitute, or just concentrate on just the league games, the cup game, should I say. So then we've got that ready-made centre-back partnership. So then Garcia hasn't got the world on his shoulders to be this number one. And I think that might help Guardiola out, and it might help Garcia out, because Dave obviously said he's worried about losing Garcia and becoming the next PK. And I think that will help City and Garcia as a whole, because then Garcia is still getting game time, and Guardiola's finally starting to see what he's made of at the same time, without having to worry about the first choice.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I can agree with that. Just have, mate, it's Lewis Dunk, it all day. Get him in.
Just because the new podcast is named after Dunk doesn't mean we have to mention him.
It's got to happen, mate. I'm just saying. Look, I get ripped in the private chat, so I'll bring it out now. It's going to happen.
If he comes, it won't be the worst signing with City have made. But
no,
I think he'd be pushing Joe for that title. Joe or Karadi, one of them two. But no, don't get me wrong. Dunk could do a job for us. He's definitely already picked ahead of Otamendi. You could argue maybe just picked above Stones as well. But I think if we're going to push for the title next season, and we don't want to spend the big bucks for the likes of Ruben Diaz or Skriniar, I think we're going to have to go for one of these older, more established defenders, but is still young enough to do a job for the next couple of years to help ease Garcia.
Yeah, definitely the fridge.
Yeah.
It's gonna, just that he hasn't even been mentioned, but that's what I think. But all right, mate. Well, I think we're going to head off there, boys. But I think it was a good one to start off with. But thanks for joining me, Dan. Keep safe, and hopefully we can get some football back on soon.
Yeah. All the best. Yeah. And remember, Blues, to help Steve out, comment below who you'd like us to talk about next week.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dan. Right, take care,
mate.
and
take care, buddy.
Speak to you soon.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Yeah.